everyone, and welcome back to my monthly horror roundup, where I list off every horror movie coming out in February, quickly tell you what they're about, and where you can watch them. First, on February 2nd, Skinamarink comes to Shudder. I talked about this film last month when it came to theaters, but as a refresher, Skinamarink tells the story of two children who wake up in the middle of the night to find their father is missing and all the windows and doors in their home have vanished. The next day, on February 3rd, Knock at the Cabin comes to theaters. This is M. Night Shyamalan's newest movie, and its story is, while vacationing, a girl and her parents are taken hostage by armed strangers who demand that the family make a choice, deciding which of the three will be killed in order to avert the apocalypse. Also on February 3rd, A Lot of Nothing comes to VOD. A Lot of Nothing follows James and Vanessa, a seemingly perfect married couple whose lives spiral out of control when they decide to seek justice against a neighbor they saw commit a crime on the evening news. A third movie comes out on February 3rd, and that is Baby Ruby. This stars Kit Harington, and its brief synopsis is, the tightly scripted world of a vlogger and influencer unravels after she becomes a mother. A week later, on February 9th, Attachment releases on Shudder. Attachment follows Maja, a Danish has-been actress who falls in love with Leah, a Jewish academic from London. Leah suffers a mysterious seizure, and Maja returns with her to London. There, she meets Leah's mother Chana, a woman who could hold dark secrets. Briefly, while on the topic of Shudder and its releases, Shudder won't be releasing their upcoming monthly schedule anymore. Apparently this is due to budget cuts. They fired the guy who used to make them and are now just announcing content as it comes out. I only learned about Skinamarink and Attachment because they sent me an early screener. So going forward, unless they resume announcing their films a month ahead of time, the accuracy of Shudder releases will be pretty hit or miss. Anyway, on February 10th, Disquiet can be rented digitally. After a near-fatal car accident, Sam wakes up to discover he is trapped in an abandoned hospital by a mysterious and sinister force that has no intention of letting him leave. On February 15th, Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey comes to select theaters and VOD. Since the Winnie the Pooh name and likeness have now gone into the public domain, any filmmaker is free to make any Winnie the Pooh film in any genre they please. And so, as a result, we are now getting a slasher about everyone's favorite honey-loving bear. Story-wise, Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey follows Pooh and Piglet as they go on a rampage after Christopher Robin abandons them for college. 2 days after, on February 17th, Free to a Bad Home releases on VOD. In this terrifying horror anthology, the lives of three strangers, a widow, a thief, and an addict are changed by cursed objects and those that spread them. A week later, on February 29th, Cocaine Bear hits theaters. To be honest, this probably is not a horror movie by definition, but it is about a killer bear, not that killer bear, and it does look awesome, so I did want to give it a mention. Cocaine Bear's story follows a large black bear who consumes the contents of a duffel bag filled with cocaine that was dropped from an airplane by a local drug smuggler, leading to the bear going on a murderous rampage. Alright, now this is typically the part of the video where I select the new movie I am most excited to see this month. However, this time, I instead wanted to shine some light on a movie I have already seen, and that is Skinamarink. Skinamarink is a really cool film for me personally. In Alberta where I live, well, we have had a number of Hollywood productions shot here, stuff like The Revenant, Prey, and recently Last of Us. There are very few locally made films from my province that take off like Skinamarink has. Skinamarink was shot in a house with minimal actors and an absolutely minuscule budget of $15,000. Not only is it cool to see a local film blow up, it is also just cool to see a film with the budget of a nice used car make over $1 million in theaters. And I hope Skinamarink's success continues during its Shudder release. I feel like I should probably put a disclaimer up front. Skinamarink isn't a film for everyone. It's extremely slow, barely has a narrative, and it is very experimental. I know people in my life I could not show this to, even people that like horror movies. They simply would just not like this. My sister was planning to drive 2 hours to see it in theaters, and I told her straight up, just don't go. Rachel, if you are watching this, I promise you, you will hate Skinamarink. I really, truly cannot overstate how weird and non-traditional of a movie Skinamarink is. This currently has a 42% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes, and that absolutely makes perfect sense. I bet many people heard the online buzz about this, went in blind, and were heavily disappointed when instead of jump scares and a normal story, they got 90 minutes of static, inaudible whispering, and shots of children's shoes. I don't want to dissuade people from watching it during my recommendation, I just caution you to be realistic with what you normally like and dislike. Again, this is not a film for all horror fans. All of that being said, if you do want to be scared, if you typically do like abstract or art house horror, and if you plan to watch this by yourself with the audio cranked in a big dark empty house, then I promise it will get under your skin like nothing else. There are scenes that gave me legitimate goosebumps and had me nervously looking to dark corners of my room as I was trying to fall asleep. The unique filmmaking style of Skinamarink perfectly replicated a waking nightmare. This is one of the few times where the hype about the scariest movie of the year is not overblown. If you want a thoroughly terrifying horror film this February, Skinamarink is the movie to watch. Anyway, those are all the new horror movies coming out in February. In the comments below, please tell me what your most anticipated movie of the month is. Since I didn't technically pick one like I normally do, I'll say right now, mine is Knock at the Cabin. Also, please leave a comment below letting me know if I forgot any horror releases. I try to be as comprehensive as possible, but without fail, every month, one movie slips through my cracks. Actually, last month in January, I think I missed like 3 or 4 movies, which was a bit of a low light for me and this video series. Also, final note, I don't know if anyone can tell, but I am extremely sick once again. I had to record this video to get it up before February started, so I guess apologies right now for the sound of my voice. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel, Horror Flicks with Nick. Twice a week I post horror reviews, commentaries, and short recommendations for horror movies you should watch on Netflix and other streaming services. Thank you for watching my February preview video. I'll see y'all back again in March.